The stadium lights ignite. More than 80,000 fans rise to their feet. Drums echo through the stands. National flags wave in every direction. Billions of people gather in front of screens, watching what they believe is the greatest sporting event on Earth, the FIFA World Cup. For generations, we've been told it is simply a tournament. 22 players, one ball, 90 minutes, a trophy. But what if every single one of those assumptions is wrong? What if football was never just a game? What if the World Cup is actually the final stage of something that began millions of years before humanity ever walked the Earth? Tonight, we're exploring a classified theory unlike anything you've ever heard. A theory that claims three of the greatest football players alive are not entirely human, that they were never born to become legends. They were sent here, not by governments, but by civilizations from distant star systems. Their mission has remained hidden for decades. Their identities have been carefully protected. And now, everything points toward one final objective: winning the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Because according to this theory, the champion of the 2026 World Cup won't simply lift a trophy, he will determine the future of our planet. Before we continue, one thing must be clear. What you're about to hear is a work of fictional storytelling. There is no evidence that any of these claims are true, but if, for the next 17 minutes, you're willing to imagine that they are, you may never watch football the same way again. For centuries, archaeologists have uncovered strange paintings inside caves and temples across the globe. Many depict mysterious beings watching large groups gathered inside circular arenas. Most historians dismiss it as symbolism. But one detail appears over and over again: a perfect sphere, a ball. According to Project Eclipse, those ancient artists were recording something they had actually witnessed, long before humans invented football. There was another tournament, not on Earth, across the galaxy. It was known as the Tournament of the Stars. It wasn't played for money or fame. It determined which civilization would lead an alliance of inhabited worlds. Victory wasn't about power, it was about proving superiority through intelligence, strategy, and discipline. The tournament unified entire civilizations. It prevented wars and settled conflicts for thousands of years. Ancient extraterrestrial visitors eventually arrived on Earth. They never intended to reveal the true tournament. Instead, they left fragments of its traditions behind. Over millennia, humans reconstructed a simplified version. We gave it a different name: the FIFA World Cup. What if FIFA merely inherited an ancient tradition without ever understanding its true purpose? If that's true, then the 2026 World Cup is a cosmic event. Project Eclipse claims that 3 extraterrestrial races each selected one representative to live among humanity. Each assumed a human identity. Each became one of the greatest footballers the world has ever seen. The first is officially known as Erling Haaland, but according to these classified files, that is only his Earth name. His original designation is H9 Landa, a warrior from the alien species known as the Kronar. The Kronar originate from Varkon 7, a brutal world orbiting a dying star near the Orion Nebula. Life there is unlike anything humans could imagine. There are no peaceful cities, only massive fortresses carved into black mountains. Every child is trained from birth to fight. Strength determines status. Compassion is considered weakness. Every Kronar warrior must survive deadly trials that eliminate all but the strongest. Those who succeed become commanders. It was inside this merciless civilization that H9 Landa was engineered. His muscles generate extraordinary power. His bones possess a density impossible under Earth's biology. His nervous system reacts almost instantly. His body was designed for one purpose: victory. But when Kronar scientists began studying Earth, they discovered something unexpected. Humans weren't physically superior. In fact, humanity appeared remarkably fragile. Yet somehow, these fragile beings could unite billions of people around a single event: football. The Kronar observed entire nations celebrating together. They watched cities erupt after a single goal. They measured emotional energy unlike anything they had ever encountered. For the first time, they realized that human emotion wasn't merely psychological. It was a measurable energy source. a battery for their fleets. And nowhere on Earth was that energy stronger than during a FIFA World Cup. Everything changed. H9 Landa's mission was immediately rewritten. He was no longer sent simply to observe. He was sent to win. Because if he could lift the World Cup trophy, the Kronar believed they could harness the enormous energy generated by billions of spectators, enough energy to power their interstellar fleets for centuries. Victory would trigger the next phase of their plan. Earth would officially become part of the Kronar Empire. Not through war, but through silent control. Humanity would never realize it had surrendered its freedom. Yet Haaland is not the only player hiding an impossible secret. Somewhere else on Earth, another visitor has been quietly changing football history. A player whose weapon was never strength, it was time. He is known to us as L10 Pulga. But in the Cygnus Rift, he is the Chronos Weaver, sent from a world where time is a physical dimension. For him, a 90-minute match is an eternity. He doesn't just react. He has already experienced every possible outcome before the whistle blows. We believe time is linear, but for the Weaver, time is a map. He walks through the game waiting for the timeline to converge. In the Cygnus Rift, the past and future exist in the same space. By being present at the World Cup, L10 Pulga acts as a temporal anchor. He is stabilizing our timeline to fit the needs of his masters. Project Eclipse investigators discovered temporal glitches in the 2014 and 2022 finals, moments where physics simply ceased to function for a microsecond, signatures of Kronos Alpha technology at work. His mission is far more subtle than the Kronar warriors. He is here to secure temporal resonance. If he lifts the 2026 trophy, Earth's timeline will be locked. Our history will be paused, making our world a permanent energy farm for the Cygnus Rift across dimensions. But there is a third. Designation, K-17 Architect, from the Ethelgard system, a world where biological brains have evolved into pure crystalline logic. He doesn't play the game, he conducts it. He uses cognitive entanglement. Every player on the pitch becomes a node in his mental simulation. At the moment of the final goal in 2026, he intends to synchronize 4 billion human minds simultaneously. His objective is the neural map of humanity's collective focus. That synchronization will trigger the grand upload. Our consciousness will be harnessed to power a planetary-scale supercomputer for the Ethelgard. When the Ethelgard harvest is complete, humanity will lose its individual will. We will become a single, unified thought processor for a civilization that hasn't felt emotion in 1,000,000 years. Why Earth? Because we are unique. Our world is the emotional battery of the Orion Nebula. Our capacity for passion and unity is a rare resource. For eons, galactic empires fought over us. The Orion Solar War nearly destroyed our sector. A peaceful solution was required. Football was the chosen interface. The laws of the game are actually translated laws of cosmic physics, a way to settle galactic disputes through superior play instead of total war. The 2026 World Cup is the grand convergence. It only happens once every 10,000 solar cycles. The stakes have never been higher for the observers watching from the edges of our solar system. The Council of Stars has issued a mandate. Earth is currently in the bottom tier of the Galactic League. The 2026 World Cup is our promotion match. Promotion means joining the alliance. Failure means relocation. If we don't prove our superiority, our world will be dismantled and its energy redistributed. We will cease to exist as a sovereign planet. The observers are not just fans, they are judges of our very existence. Project Eclipse has found evidence of intervention as far back as 1966, the Hand of God in 1986. Some claim it wasn't just a handball, but a localized gravity pulse used to test human reaction to impossible events. These aren't just myths. Declassified radar data from major tournaments shows anomalous craft hovering over every final since the 1930s. They have been watching us learn the game for a century. But there is a resistance. Project Eclipse isn't just a file. It's a network of human observers who have seen the truth. Scientists, historians, and former agents working to warn us before the final whistle. They have developed the Eclipse Protocol, a way for the collective human consciousness to fight back during the 2026 final. It requires us to watch the game not with passion, but with awareness of the manipulation. There is a fourth entity, not an operative, but an inhibitor, a being sent to ensure the tournament fails. The inhibitor's mission is total chaos, a scorched earth policy of the Galactic League. If the 2026 final is destroyed, the energy spike will overload, causing a planetary meltdown. The inhibitor wants to deny the Chronar, the Weaver, and the Architect their prize by destroying the battery itself. The Council of 12 Overseers are now debating the inhibitor's presence. They will not intervene. They view the chaos as just another variable in the test of human resilience. The choice is ours. Football is played on 1,000 worlds. We are not alone in our obsession. On every inhabited planet, a version of the sphere game is the primary method of social and political resolution. It is the language of the stars. For decades, we've debated who is the greatest of all time. But the truth is, the GOATs are the only ones who can save us. They are the only ones with the power to defy their masters. They have grown to love Earth. What if Haaland, the Weaver, and the Architect choose humanity? What if their love for the game becomes their ultimate act of rebellion? They have the power to redirect the energy back to the people, to us. At the final whistle in 2026, the ascension will begin. Our energy will be harvested, or we will reclaim our future. The moment of transition will determine if we remain a farm or become a player in the galaxy. The whistle is about to blow. The next few years will be the most important in our species' history. Watch the players, watch their eyes. The truth is hidden in plain sight, on every pitch in the world. Phase 2, the Chronos Weaver exposed. We look at the hidden data from the 2014 and 2022 finals that proves the temporal manipulation. The evidence is undeniable to those who know where to look. Project Eclipse investigators discovered a temporal shadow during the 2014 final, a microsecond where the ball occupied two positions simultaneously, a signature of Chronos Alpha technology at work. In 2022, the resonance spike at Lusail was unmistakable. The Chronos Weaver was testing the limits of Earth's timeline. He was preparing the resonance for the 2026 Grand Convergence. The timeline is being pre-written. Victory for the Weaver means the end of our evolution. Our history will be paused. We will become a civilization frozen in a single moment of competitive passion, forever. A museum of emotion for the Cygnus Rift. The Ethelgard don't want our world. They want our minds. Each fan in the stadium is unknowingly being mapped. Your reactions, your cheers, your heartbreak. It's all data for the Hive's neural simulation. K-17, the strategist, carries the crystalline core. It acts as a beacon, focusing the neural energy of the crowd. He isn't playing for his team. He is playing for the Hive's expansion into our dimension. When the Ethelgard harvest is complete, humanity will lose its individual will. We will become a single, unified thought processor for a civilization that hasn't felt emotion in 1,000,000 years. Our passion is their fuel. Earth is just one arena in a much larger league. The Tournament of Stars spans across 100 worlds. We are currently in the bottom tier, and the 2026 World Cup is our promotion match. The galaxy is watching. Promotion means joining the Galactic Alliance, access to technology and energy we can't even imagine. But failure means relocation. We will be dismantled if we don't prove our worthiness through the game. Project Eclipse has one final warning. They have tracked a fourth entity, not an operative, but an inhibitor, a being sent to ensure the tournament fails and Earth is destroyed in the chaos. The inhibitor's mission is total chaos. If the 2026 final is destroyed, the energy spike will overload, causing a planetary meltdown, a scorched Earth policy of the Galactic League to prevent rival harvesting. For decades, we've debated who is the greatest of all time. But the truth is, the GOATs are the only ones who can save us. They are the only ones with the power to defy their masters. They have grown to love Earth. What if Haaland, the Weaver, and the Architect choose humanity? What if their love for the game becomes their ultimate act of rebellion? They have the power to redirect the energy back to the people, to us. The final whistle of 2026 will be the most important sound in human history. It will either be our end or our true beginning as a galactic civilization. The choice is ours, in every cheer and every tear. Watch the game, not for the score, but for the soul. Because in 2026, the real prize isn't a trophy, it's us. Thank you for watching the documentary they never wanted you to see. Stay vigilant, human forever. The Council of 12 has watched us for eons. They see our potential, and they see our greed. The 2026 tournament is the final test of our collective maturity. Can we unite without being harvested? In the lost archives of Project Eclipse, we find reports from the 1930 and 1950 finals. The energy clouds were smaller then, but the signatures were the same. We were being groomed from the very first match. There is a theory that some players are hybrids, part human, part Kronar, or Ethelgard. Born on Earth but engineered with cosmic potential. They are the bridges between our world and theirs. The ultimate spies in shorts. This is H9 Landa's true heritage, a world where power is the only currency. His ability to dominate the pitch is not just skill, it's a genetic imperative. He is a predator in a world of prey, and we are the audience. Stay human,